Cooper Kupp, leading receiver in the game. At one point, I was in a suite. His family was in a suite. It was like, like if Seahawks fans didn't have it easy yesterday. Like there was,
Yeah.
we were one trick play. We were one Josh McDaniels, get in your bag and do something from them losing this potentially for most of the game. Mike McDonald said last night that it cemented his Hall of Fame case that this did. How locked into Canton is Cooper Kupp?
Wow, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, we
You
have his
think
resume.
about it, Triple Crown, Super Bowl MVP, two-time Super Bowl champ, like absolutely. Like, and what I love about Cooper Kupp is I got a chance. I'm a huge Cooper Kupp fan. I can remember it was a few years ago. It was my last year in 2021, and I'm a safety in the meeting room in Miami. And our DB coach Gerald Alexander at the time, he plays a clip of Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp is breaking down a fire zone defense of what his responsibility is, how the safety's going to roll down, how this player is controlled by the running back. And I was sitting there and I was like, this knows the defense better than half the guys in our DB room. And from that standpoint, I was like, I am a huge fan of this guy. And in production meetings, I got a chance to talk to him. And we just talked about philosophy of football, tight splits, bunches, and how he sees the game. This guy, he meets with the
You guys are
quarterbacks.
sick. You're
Like
sick.
he meets, I am. He meets with the quarterbacks in the morning to understand exactly what their reads are, what they're seeing, so that he understands the offense. So I think when you talk about him in Canton, absolutely, he's earned that with his performances in the big moments, obviously in his time with the Rams, and how he's come over and what he's done for Seattle, not only on the field with his production, but also off the field in the meeting rooms, and how he spread that knowledge on to guys there. What he's done for Jackson Smith-Njigba this year, Offensive Player of the Year, and how well he's performed. Like, this dude is unbelievable. And I'm so happy for him because he talked about how hard it was for him to leave the Rams and debating whether he wanted to keep playing and how tough it was for his family of everything he poured into that city. Not only did he leave and go to Seattle, he beat the Rams in the NFC Championship and is able to hoist a Lombardi and have a good game as he did in the Super Bowl. Like, that's an unbelievable effort, and just happy for him and his family. He's earned it.
So Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I believe so. I would say yes to that.
I wanted to ask you about Cooper Kupp. Obviously, we're talking about JSN and his impact. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion. It's been fun to watch, of course. I was in the suite next to his family, just like watching them die most of the game because it was so close, and then sort of revel in it in what he's put together as a resume. He leads Seattle in receiving yards in Super Bowl 60. We're like a year removed from the Rams letting him walk in free agency. How do you view LA's decision to move on from him?
Well, you know, I publicly said I would have loved for Cooper Kupp to have stayed. I would have loved for them to have worked something out where he could have remained a Ram and retired as a Ram. I think he earned that right to do that. But we also know this is the National Football League, right? Their teams are trying to get younger. They're trying to get, trying to make sure that they stay under the books and all those good things. But I'm happy for Cooper Kupp. I have a lot of respect for this man and the way that he goes about his business and the way that he approaches the game. And not only that, and how he is with his family, his wife, and his kids. It reflects the way that he plays the game. And Seattle's got a great leader now in Cooper Kupp. And as I mentioned, JSN and the other wide receivers get an opportunity to benefit from that. He showed you throughout the playoffs his ability to make plays in crucial situations, being available, being smart, understanding the situation, playing his role at the highest of level, and being a support for JSN and the other wide receivers. Cooper Kupp understands that, and he showed up when he needed to. And now he's a two-time NFL Super Bowl champion. I couldn't be more happier for a guy than Cooper Kupp. Again, a lot of respect and love for the way that he plays the game and the way that he carries himself off the football field.
There's some math apparently that says that they could have kept him and added Devontae. Cooper didn't have the hugest year for Seattle, but it was important to win the Super Bowl, and then, of course, the little things he does with these young team.
Right. And he was important when they needed it.
But did the Rams, was it a mistake to let him go?
Based off of watching him in Seattle, yes. What he could have provided to the Rams, absolutely. Not only his production, but just being that mold, that model of consistency for that group out in Los Angeles, I think would have been fantastic. But again, I get it. I understand the business.
For sure.
Rams had to do what they needed to do. I'm happy that Cooper was able to go somewhere that wanted him, more importantly.
I mean, his rival, their rival. That's part of it, too. He went and did all these nice things you're saying about being happy. He went and did for another team, their biggest rival.
Right. And he went, and he had I'm also happy, too, for him because he got an opportunity to go back home.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, it was the rival, but as players, to have an opportunity to go play back home and to play the way that he played, particularly in the Super Bowl, particularly in the playoffs, I mean, I know he's smiling from ear to ear, being that he is now a two-time Super Bowl champion for his hometown team. If you look at how he dressed throughout the playoffs, it was some representation of Seattle. I think during the Super Bowl parade yesterday, it was Ken Griffey, had a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey on. So that tells you how he feels about his hometown, and now he's brought his hometown a Super Bowl ring, another Super Bowl.
A difference of 5 points combined between those two losses. Biggest games of the season where Cooper sort of did his thing. I'm glad that you're happy for. I mean, everyone. How could you not be happy for him? I'm sure the Rams themselves.
Right, and I'm genuinely happy for Cooper, and I'm fortunate I get an opportunity to go out to LA and see the team and be around the wide receivers, and I try to make sure that I form some type of relationship with those guys, and I have with Cooper. I've talked to Devontae, I've talked to Puka, so I have a lot of respect for all those guys, but certainly hats off to Cooper Kupp.